And I've never seen a bootleg from the We Can't Dance era on vinyl until today. Hello and welcome back to a new episode of Everything Phil Collins. I'm Scott, and today's an exciting day because we've got another mystery box from our friend George, all the way coming from down under in Australia. This one was a little tricky to get here because I think it maybe went to the wrong house, but luckily they just left the notice and then took it to the post office depot, and where I went down and got it. It was no issue at all, but I was scared because George told me it was coming. And I just know that there's some incredible Genesis and Phil Collins stuff in here. And I'm like, my goodness, I don't want this to go to the wrong person. Maybe it would go to a Genesis or Phil Collins fan. That, I guess, could be a Christmas miracle. But no, it didn't. It went to this Genesis and Phil Collins fan. Okay, so here's what's a little different. With most of the mystery boxes, the past 3 or 4 that we've got, thank you everybody who sent stuff, I've opened them on camera, including the first box that George sent me. And if you haven't seen that video, go back and check it out. It's incredible. This time, I wanted to do things different. I didn't want to open it on camera. I just wanted to enjoy the process myself. I feel like I have to, I don't know, I just feel like I have to kind of have it all together and be thinking about making the video when I'm trying to enjoy this incredible gift. And so this is the second box that George has sent me. And I just was like, you know what? This is my time. I'm just going to open this at my own pace. And now I'm going to show you what I got. So sorry that we don't have that cool anticipation of me seeing things for the very first time. But I did have some time to kind of do a little bit of research and send George some notes. And I want George is hopefully going to help answer some questions. And we have things in here that I would say 90% of what's in here I've never seen before, if not 95%. And I bet you it's the same for you. By the way, stay tuned to the end of this video and we'll go downstairs and hopefully drop the needle on some of these records and you can hear what they sound like. Let's start with something I have seen before, and I actually I have that George is not giving to me, but he's giving to you. And that is the Genesis Nassau Coliseum 1981 recording from the Abacab era. This is a new bootleg-ish. It's from Parachute Recording Company. It's a really beautiful package. I'm going to do a review. If maybe I've already done the review since you've seen this. Maybe we're going to give this away. So because Darren, my other friend, bought me a copy, we now have a second copy. This is unopened, and this is going to go in a draw for our Patreons. So by the time you're watching this, I'm sure the draw has already happened. But either way, go to everythingphilcollins.com because we're going to be doing another draw. Thank you, George, for this. This is a good album. Everyone should check it out. And now we can give a copy away to other people. Something else is cool. George knows. I mean, George and I never met in real life yet, but George and I are very unique in the world because we collect Genesis and Phil Collins vinyl. We kind of lean a little bit more towards the Phil Collins era, and we like the same things. And George knows that I like 12-inch records, 12-inch singles. And I've been on a mission to get all of the Phil and the Genesis ones and eventually Peter's as well. And I'm doing pretty well. And we had someone help me out recently with a copy of No Son of Mine. So we're getting close. But check out this cool thing that George sent. This is a 45 of In the Air Tonight. And I just want you to look at the minimalism of this artwork. Now, this feels like it's unopened, but it's in like a plastic sleeve. I think it has been opened. But I just wanted to check with George first because we have some things in this box that are sealed. And they've been sealed for about 40 years. And so those I'm not sure I'm going to touch. This doesn't look like it's sealed. It looks like it's been played. But it's really cool. I have the remix version of this. So this is something I don't have because I have something that was done later in the 80s. The In the Air Tonight remix. It's over there. You can't see it. But this is really cool. And I've never seen the artwork for this. This always messes up my focus whenever I show somebody else's face because the camera thinks it's my face. And then have you seen those ads? Those ads where it uses this Futura font for Phil Collins? That's something I'd really like to get my hands on. Anyway, this is beautiful. I believe it's just In the Air Tonight, maxi 45 RPM. I don't know what's on the reverse. I have no idea. And this says it's from made in the Netherlands. So it could have been a Belgium release. Yeah, as it says Belgium on it from the record company. Anyway, very cool. Okay, speaking of 12-inch singles, we also have If Leaving Me Is Easy. Now, this is a really cool thing, and this is open, so I'm going to crack it open. But this is really cool. First of all, look at that advertisement on the back. Hopefully I can get you some B-roll of this. The artwork on this is kind of goofy, eh? Look at this little marketing tag there. It's super 80s looking. The thing that has me so excited to listen to this one in particular is that on one side you have If Leaving Me Is Easy as a 12-inch single, 45. And on the other hand, on the other side, you have home demos from the In the Air Tonight, or sorry, from the Face Value era. You have In the Air Tonight, I Missed Again, and If Leaving Me Is Easy. See that in the bottom? That's really cool. Remember, like, we don't know if Phil played Tony and Mike In the Air Tonight demo. Well, we get to hear it. Now, a lot of people have heard it, myself included, because they included it on the deluxe reissues in 2016. This disc is incredible. Look at those unique colors on the Atlantic label. This disc is insanely mint condition. I doubt it's ever been played. It looks incredible. And so we have If Leaving Me Is Easy on side A, just one song. It's going to sound amazing because it's 45 and it's taking up most of the disc. And then we have the In the Air Tonight demos. And I think I'm excited to hear the In the Air Tonight demos on vinyl. I always like to peek inside here because, you know, these things are so old. You never know if there's a ticket stub or if some of Phil's hair in here. Thanks, George. Very exciting. I don't think I'd ever find a copy of Leaving Me Is Easy on 12-inch. So that helps round out the collection when it comes to Phil. I don't have a 12-inch copy of I Missed Again. Was there ever one done for Thunder and Lightning? I'm not sure. I don't have Through These Walls that I know of. I maybe have it on 7-inch, but I don't have it on 12-inch if it exists, or I don't care anymore. I have You Can't Hurry Love. I have a lot from But Seriously. I have Something Happened on the Way to Heaven, and I have Hanging Long Enough, which is a cool one. I don't think I have Another Day in Paradise, and I'm not sure what else. I believe I have a 7-inch of Do You Remember from... Here's the thing, man. When you're a collector now and you get to a certain spot, you've got to have an Excel sheet, right? I guess you can have your Discogs, but like, I need to take a high-res picture of my record collection so that when I'm in a shop, I'm like, do I have this? Okay, here's something you guys are going to love. Check this out. This is sealed. So this is Gabba Cabriel, which is a play on Gabriel and Abacab, I think, because it would have been Abacab era, I believe. So this is from 1983, Jessica Charisma Records. Again, all my folks at home, if you can please let me know what you know about this. So first of all, it's sealed, so that's really cool. And we have Steve Hackett there as well. So I'm guessing this is a bootleg of the actual night on October 2nd. That's what it says there. The reason I mention that, and this is a 3-record set. Now it's sealed, and we've got some other records in this collection that are sealed, and they're driving me crazy because I want to open them, but I also want to keep them sealed. I don't have many things in my collection sealed. I think I'm going to keep this sealed because it was, first of all, 1983 is the year I was born, so that's kind of special. But also, it reminds me a little bit of something that George sent me last time, which is this, which is a new bootleg from Gimme Recordings that came out just a couple of months ago. And this is the reunion rehearsal. So I believe this is recorded on September 29th, and it was broadcast on the BBC. The rehearsal performance, which is a little like kind of all over the place. And then I imagine this is probably an audience recording, or maybe I need to see if I can find this digitally. I imagine it's out there. But this is probably an audience recording or a soundboard recording. Am I right? From the actual night? I'll need you all to help me out there, and George, you can help me out as well. But thank you, George. That looks stunning. So cool. And now I have both of these celebrating that night, the 6 of the best night. But there's a picture of Steve here in the bottom corner of Steve and Mike, which is super cool. So on the last box that George sent me, he sent me this, Genesis Live, which is cool. Abacab, it's an Abacab era tour bootleg. This is in really rough shape, if I remember correctly. It's been a while, like it's an audience recording. So because of that, I was really surprised to see this, which is Genesis Eat Your Supper, using the same photograph and artwork, but done a little differently. And it's still sealed. and has some really, really cool features. For example, this Genesis Eat Your Supper is hand cut on paper, only being held there by the cellophane. Perhaps it's glued, but I think it's being held there by the cellophane. Then when you look at the back here, we have this pink photocopied paper, very much how like some of the other, lots of bootlegs are done this way with photocopied paper. We have disc 1, Dance on a Volcano, Behind the Lines, Dodo, Man on the Corner, Who Done It, Turn It On Again, Los Endos. Disc 2 is Supper's Ready, The Lamb, Watcher of the Skies, and I Know What I Like. It was recorded in two different recordings, 1982, June 9th, and September 6th, 82, and September 8th, 82. Thanks to Greedy for lending sides 2 and 4 original plates, and to Art Gubno, constant love for painting and jewelry. Same front sleeve, different back. Some with Phil, some with Mike, but unique vinylic rainbows. This sample is part of a rare collection made of strictly 130 pieces of art on multicolored plastic wax. And this is stamped number 50, Alternative Recording Company. So this is the same release as this. This bootleg looks quasi-legit based on all of the ones I've seen. This catalog ID ARCLP 69 from 1982, Alternative Recording Company. And so this is a special version because it is on multicolored vinyl, whereas this one's in black. And yeah, you can feel that these are just cutouts. That's so crazy. And it's on multicolored vinyl. But I won't know because it's sealed. And I'm going to keep it sealed, even though I love to see the multicolored vinyl. I could do a little razor blade along here, but I'm going to keep it sealed. I don't know, man. Like, I know that I did a video recently. We talked about this Genesis Shapes cassette that I got. And I asked you if I should open it or if I should seal it. Now, I have another copy, so I've decided to keep it sealed. It's kind of dumb, right? We don't want to die and having not listened to our sealed records. But because I have 2 copies, the only thing is and the recording quality is audience, I believe. I think I'll keep this sealed. It'd be nice to have a sealed copy. So thank you again, George. God bless you. Now, this is really interesting. I've seen this in the wild before. No, actually, I haven't seen it in the wild, but I've seen it online. This is Genesis Perilous Schizophrenia. And this is a bootleg, and I was just listening to it. It sounds like an audience recording. This, again, would be Abacab era, which I have a ton of my favorite bootlegs. My favorite bootlegs come from the Selling England by the Pound tour. They're kind of interesting. My most elusive bootlegs come from the come from the Invisible Touch era, which I just do not have any yet. But the bootlegs that are the most interesting and have the coolest artwork is the Abacab and a little bit of the Duke era. I showed you one I picked up recently called The Hottest Ticket, which I think is really cool. And this one is super, super cool. And I bet you know what? I know why George sent this to me. This is limited number 392 of 500 copies. See if you can see the track listing there. I think I know why George sent this to me. Can you take a guess? You know what we got on the front here? An elk. I think he sent it to me because I'm Canadian. And this looks like a Canadian album cover. Do you agree? Look at that little handwritten number in the bottom corner, 500. Now, this isn't sealed, like I said, and I listened to it recently, and it sounds really cool. They jammed a lot of music on side 1. There's Phil talking in German, which is really cool. So I love this. I love bootlegs. Oh my gosh, I love them. And I'm so close to collecting them all. Actually, that's impossible. And George sent me a list of all the crazy stuff out there. I know my collection of bootlegs, maybe I have 20 or 30 now. I only started a year and a half ago. I discovered my very first bootleg. I believe it was White Mountain, or maybe it was the Genesis one where they're kind of black and white colored on the front from the Duke era. But I discovered that in a record store, and I didn't even know, and this record store had that one, White Mountain, and Odd Man Out, and I didn't even know that and A Living Story as well, I believe. And I didn't even know that bootlegs existed. And sure, I didn't even know that was a world. And now I even have a couple Phil bootlegs. One of them has come also from George, which I cherish greatly. And now there's new bootlegs that are happening, which is kind of weird and crazy and cool and interesting. So I know there's a lot of collectors out there that have millions of bootlegs, or at least thousands of bootlegs. And it's a good thing I'm not a Beatles fan, or even Floyd, or the Stones, because I know, or the Dead, I guess. But like, I'm in a couple bootleg communities, and I see so many records from other bands, Zeppelin. So Genesis doesn't have that many compared to other bands. Thank goodness, or I would be so obligated to find all of them. But thanks to George and some of you, I've been getting more, and I'm very excited to find more cassette bootlegs as well. My last two things from George are my favorite. Now, first thing here, again, I have a weird obsession with minimal artwork and white artwork. It's why I like Abacab artwork. I don't know, but for me, this is a special thing. Look how minimal that is. This is a Phil Collins radio promo. Good God, like what is the deal with this? I mean, you have no idea what's happening here. Look at his signature, beautiful in gold. Very similar signature to the ones, no, never mind. I've never seen him use lowercase before. Maybe somebody forged it. This is allegedly from Atlantic. It looks like it was stamped with like a gold and black. I don't know why I don't care anymore is in gold. That seems like a mistake. This looks like something they would send to DJs or something. So it's a compilation. And this would have been pressed probably in, gosh, I want to say late 80s, because we have maybe even early 90s. We have Droned, which is the version from Face Value. A really weird song to start this record off. This is why it's my favorite thing, because it's weird. It doesn't make any sense, but it's actually, I like listening to random songs. So we have Drone. We have In the Air Tonight acoustic, which is from the Secret Policeman's Ball. And it's really cool, slow acoustic version with the audience of In the Air Tonight. I believe Daryl's playing with them. Man on the Corner is straight from Abacab. So weird, right? Side 2 is The Roof is Leaking. I haven't listened to that yet, but that's also from the Secret Policeman's Ball. That's an acoustic version. I think they would do that a lot on live TV. I've seen that before with Daryl and the piano. Another Day in Paradise is straight from But Seriously, which is bizarre, and I Don't Care Anymore, which is from Hello. So there's studio versions, a couple live versions, promotional copy, compiled by Paul Nickerson and Francis Englehart for Slow to Speak, which Slow to Speak SFC must have been publicity, right? Music publicity, a PR company. You're trying to promote Phil Collins to radio stations. Could have been a gift, a giveaway. This could have went out overseas as well. This could have went outside of or outside of the UK. Who knows? It could have went to Asia. Could have went to South America as a way to promote Phil. I have no idea. I want to show you something cool. It's a little bit sus. This label is like dark. It looks like it was printed at home. It's not as vibrant as the Atlantic ones. It's Christmassy even. It says it was manufactured in America. So that gives you a little clue. If you are a radio DJ and you know anything about this, remember in the second last mystery box, we got that cool interview record from Mike and the Mechanics. So if you're in the DJ world and you know anything about this, please let me know. It's open, so I got to listen to it. Thank goodness. As I mentioned with bootlegs, I want to show you the last thing I had here, and it's a bootleg, and it's blowing my mind, and I've got a huge problem because it's also sealed. As I've been slowly getting into the world of bootlegs, primarily bootlegs from Genesis. I mean, I don't have bootlegs from any other band other than Phil Collins. I would maybe grab a Brand X bootleg if it's out there. That'd be kind of cool. In the Genesis era, bootlegs on vinyl. I know that there's a lot of bootlegs on CD. Right now, at this moment, I'm not collecting bootlegs on CD. They're a little bit overpriced when I go to record fairs and stuff for the CD format. I think vinyl is cooler, kind of a bigger deal in my collection, if you will. I don't have a CD player in my home entertainment system. So anyway, the vinyl bootlegs you come across quite frequently, selling them by the pound tour. There's a few of those. I have some. They're great. The Lamb is out there. I don't have any good quality Lamb ones. That's okay for now. There also are quite a few from the Wind and Wuthering and Trick tour, A Living Story, and I believe White Mountain is from that tour. I have some of those. That's really nice. I have something from And Then There Were Three. I believe the one I got recently was And Then There Were Three, but that may have also included Duke, if I'm not mistaken. And of course, there's quite a few Duke era. There's seemingly the most from the Abacab era that would include the Duke Suite, Abacab songs like Abacab Dodo, sometimes No Reply at All, Man on the Corner, Who Done It. And then there's usually a a longer suite in there that involves In the Cage and Afterglow. Sometimes I Know What I Like. After Abacab, I can't find bootlegs for anything. I can't find bootlegs for Shapes, which I would love to find. And I do have digital bootlegs from the Shapes era, which are cool. I don't have bootlegs from Invisible Touch era, although they do exist. They're just very expensive and hard to find. And I've never seen a bootleg from the We Can't Dance era on vinyl until today. I really like We Can't Dance. I love We Can't Dance, actually. I was born in the early 80s, and so I was a young boy obsessed with Phil when We Can't Dance came out. That's one of the reasons why I have such a connection to But Seriously and Serious Hits Live and We Can't Dance, because that's really when I had taken this artist on as my own, as opposed to just hearing it in the background as a little kid. So We Can't Dance holds a special place in my heart. Not only that, I just really love it. I really love that album, and I listen to it all the time. And I like the live songs that we get to hear on the shorts and the longs, but an actual tour bootleg, gosh, that is impossible to find. And here my friend George has hooked me up. Genesis World Dance 1992. Can you see that spine? And look at this. Let's see if I can show this to you and read the track listing at the same time. Probably not. Land of Confusion, No Son of Mine, Driving the Last Spike. This is a 6 sides, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that means it's a 3-disc. By golly. We have the medley on here, which I'm a huge fan of. I think it's such a good medley. We have Throwing It All Away, Fading Lights, Jesus, He Knows Me, I Can't Dance is on here. Second, Home by the Sea, Home by the Sea, Hold on My Heart. Oh my gosh, what an incredible set list that was. Really cool. But here's the issue. The issue is that this is factory sealed. It's shrink wrapped. It's coming up a little bit on the bottom corner, but it's shrink wrapped. This is a record so rare. I think only 3 people claim to have it on Discogs. It's so rare, I wasn't even aware that it existed. It's so rare because finding vinyl from the We Can't Dance era is extremely difficult, let alone finding bootlegs on vinyl from the late 80s and beyond. I mean, you couldn't even find We Can't Dance, the original, on vinyl. If it weren't for my friend Sean, who sent me a copy of that not just a couple months ago, which I cherish. But man, you can't find both sides from that era. I think still is almost impossible to find on vinyl. And so a bootleg from 1992 on vinyl. This is from Vinyl Virus. If you know anything about this or you have this, please let me know. This is the one I'm going to crack open. Now, I'm going to crack this open and then somebody is going to leave in the comments below, oh, by the way, that was worth $1 million. So that'll suck. But I love this album so much. I love this tour. I love vinyl. It's the primary way I listen to music is on vinyl. So I'm not going to open this and just put it on the shelf. If I were just going to leave it on the shelf, then I wouldn't open it. Oh man, but what if it's the only one? What if it's the only unopened one? Like if there's so few of these out there, what if it's the only, what am I going to do? Can you imagine if this is the last remaining unopened copy of this record? I emailed George this morning because I wanted to get his permission to open it, because if he wanted me to have it and not listen to it or to have it and keep it sealed, then I would respect that. But he told me to go ahead and cut it down the center and cut it down the inside and listen to it, which is great because he means he's a diehard fan and he believes that records should be listened to, but I don't know. I'm just going to do it and not think about it. This is a testament to how much I love this band and how much I love listening to vinyl and how much I love music. I need an X-Acto knife. Watch me destroy this whole thing on camera. I'll be exceptionally mad if there's like no records in here. Oh man, we gotta do this for the music. Oh my goodness, that air that's trapped in there has been trapped in there for 30 odd years. Oh, there's anthrax in there. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Isn't that insane? Isn't that insane? Look at this. Oh my goodness. This record came right off the press 35 years ago. I've never seen anything cleaner than this. There's a modicum little speck. I have never seen a record cleaner than that in my life. I was looking on Discogs. Somebody said that this is not an audience recording, that this is perhaps a broadcast recording. Again, if you know anything, that's the other thing too. Do we know when this was recorded? We do not. I'm looking for Phil's hair. Still no luck. Incredible. I love that little character. Made in EEC. What is that? EEC. Eastern Europe? What is EEC? Okay, so 3 discs in here. Wow. George, again, I don't know what to say. And you didn't get a chance, my friends, to see opening this one by one, but George and everyone else who sent me something over the past year has done an incredible job at stacking them in order of suspense. And so you get like some of these 45 singles, which look cool, or a new release, which is really sweet. But then as you get to the end, if you remember that last video, we had a No Jacket Required bootleg, which is one of my, probably right now in my collection is my favorite record. This might come close. But my entire record collection, Genesis, Phil Collins, anything I ever own, my entire CD music tape collection, it's that No Jacket Required or No Ticket Required vinyl. And that was at the very bottom of the box, as was this. So thank you so much, George. Let's go listen to some music. Okay, so I'm going to do my best to show you some of the records that my friend George gave me, and we're going to just play a couple samples. First of all, a couple of them, I've decided not to open a few. So we have the Milton Keys here, Gabriel record that is unopened, and it's going to stay that way. I would really like to see this. I think this is the colored vinyl one. So it's been a couple weeks since we last talked, and since I got this box from my friend George, all the way from Australia. So incredible. And I want to talk to you a little bit about some of these records, and I want to play some of them for you without getting in trouble from the YouTube gods and from Tony Smith. A couple of them I've decided not to open. For example, this one, the Eat Your Supper. I do have this. I believe I have the identical version. I think it's something that George has sent me before in our last shipment. Yes, right here. Looks a little bit different though on the back. And then this is this new one that's unopened, which is number 52, is 52 of however many, I'm not quite sure. But this number here is, okay, so here we got, man, this is beautiful, beautiful condition. Little dusty. In the Air Tonight on side 1. 45 RPM, and The Roof is Leaking on side 2. We don't need to play those. Those are probably album versions. This is actually like one of the rarest things I didn't realize. But this is the home demos. I've listened to this. I like this. Let's play this. So If Leaving Me Is Easy on side A, and on side B is In the Air Tonight home demo, and I Missed Again. Let's do I Missed Again. And now I'm recording this because I'm unprofessional and lazy. I'm recording this through a stereo Zoom recorder. So the sound will probably be as good as just sitting here with me-ish. So we've got this like CR78 beat that's like going through some sort of like analog delay. And it's funny because these recordings are available. You can get them on the extended edition, some of them on the extended edition from 2016 on CD for face value and digitally for face value. George and I really are big fans of the demos of face value. I've said this before. I really think there needs to be an official vinyl pressing of the demos for face value. I believe that all songs, with the exception of Droned and Tomorrow Never Knows, but I believe all songs are available as demos, including these 3 here, which is The Roof is Leaking and, oh sorry. this is kind of cool. Remember, we had no idea what this was for, right? This is like some bizarre, I think George said it was a fake bootleg or like a fake promo record. So it's a bootleg, but it was, and you can tell too, the Atlantic Records logo is dark, or I don't know. I think George was saying that this is looks like it's made for radio, but it's actually probably just a fake compilation. It's so weird why some things are in gold and some things are in black. Let's see what I can play for you real quick. In the Air Tonight acoustic, which is, and then The Roof is Leaking acoustic. In the Air Tonight acoustic, I think, would have been from a live broadcast, right? A TV show. There's also Droned on here, which is so bizarre.
So you can wipe off that grin. I know where you've been. Stomping up at the light.
You guys heard that? That sounds really nice, doesn't it? I need to be listening to this more often. One of the things I like about this record is these weird compilations, right? Like, to me, like listening to Phil and Genesis on random, on shuffle is kind of fun. And so here we have Droned, In the Air Tonight acoustic, Man on the Corner, The Roof is Leaking acoustic, Another Day in Paradise, I Don't Care Anymore. It's a weird mix, right? And Man on the Corner isn't even a Phil song. Well, I mean, you know what I mean. But I'll give you an example. Here's something that I enjoy listening to. This compilation here, you can let me know. This is from where? This is Germany, I think. And so this is like the best of the first two albums. And I really like this. It's a great record on vinyl. It's essentially every song minus the deep cuts from the first two records, which is really cool. Have I showed you this Perilous Schizophrenia? This is an Abacab era audience recording bootleg. What can I show you? Yeah, let's see if I can play you Who Done It, just to get under your skin. You know, I find Who Done It to be obnoxious, no doubt, as most people do, but no more so than live. I find the live versions to be insane. Like, they really double down on the idea. Finally, my favorite record from Giorgio is, and I've got it in a separate sleeve here, this is the live bootleg from the 1992 We Can't Dance tour. And this was a real surprise. Now, I love bootlegs, I love live recordings. We don't have a ton of live recordings on vinyl from the band, especially ones that are kind of hard to get a hold of. I know a lot of you say, well, why don't you just listen to the digital ones or the CD bootlegs? I really love a good vinyl bootleg. We've talked about this before. This is a 3-disc. It covers all, if not mostly all, of the We Can't Dance set list. With the exception of, like, one of the things I love about some of these records from George is that I get to hear some live stuff on vinyl that I haven't got to hear before. Stuff like, well, in this example, maybe Hold On My Heart. Although I guess we have that on the shorts. What about maybe Driving the Last Spike? I don't have the longs on vinyl, although that was just released on BBC, so that's really cool. The old medley is really nice to have. Fading Lights I get to have as well, which is really cool. So there's a lot of great stuff on this. I've been listening to this non-stop. Let me play you a little bit just so you can hear the recording quality. I showed you the labels are so cool. Let's see if I can play a bit of Driving the Last Spike. Again, I think this would have been similar to the version included on the BBC recordings, if not the exact recording. I can't play too much, I'll get in trouble, but you can hear it sounds, it's very compressed. The bass sounds really good for vinyl on this stereo. So I'm very happy. It's not an audience recording. It sounds like a soundboard just because of the way that the vocals are so close to the mic. I think maybe he talked about being broadcast during this recording, so it was probably a broadcast as well, an FM broadcast, but it's really, really great. Really, really great. You know, we don't have a lot of full shows on vinyl, right? Even The Way We Walk, the shorts and the long are so bizarre because the shorts include That's All, They include, I think, Follow You, Follow Me, if I'm not mistaken. It's basically like a greatest hits. And so it wasn't the actual 92 show. And so for this, we get the drum duet, we get the old medley in full, which is 26 minutes long, all on one side, which is insane. So we have 3 discs, really, really, really great. Some talking to the audience as well, the audience participation stuff, which is really cool. I think the band could officially release 1992 or even 2007 on vinyl. You would just have to take away the crowd participation stuff and some of Phil's talking. I'd like to leave a little bit of it. But anyway, this is my most cherished possession from George, and probably one of my most cherished possessions in my record collection, aside from this other record from George, which is No Ticket Required. So I love having these live recordings of tours that we don't really have so much access to, or aren't as ubiquitous as stuff like from the Trick era, Wind era, Abacab and Duke era. There's a lot of live stuff, but when you get to Shapes and beyond, it's harder to find live stuff. Same thing with Phil. It's harder to find stuff from No Jacket Required and beyond. Like I'm talking, you know, bootlegs and stuff. Anyway, thanks, George. I hope you enjoyed this. I wish you all could be here in my living room. Not literally, but I wish you all could be here to listen to this on the turntable, because these records I just play nonstop. I love them so much. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button for exclusive videos, behind-the-scenes content, and to have your say on future topics before I film. Have a look at our Patreon page. Thanks for watching.